It's time to create a profitable, scalable, and sustainable studio for yourself and your students. Welcome to Dance Studio Empire. I'm Jen, dance studio owner for 30 years, running multiple locations with over 1,000 students, dance business coach turned mastermind mentor for dance studio owners, creatives, and leaders like you. I know you're committed to growing your studio and creating the time and financial freedom you most want, while also being the best in the industry with a reputation to match. I've coached hundreds of studio owners who have grown to 250, 500, and over 1,000 students using my signature studio scaled method. And in this podcast, I'll give you the clarity, strategy, and CEO mindset to help you do the same. Let's dive in. Hey dance studio owners, and welcome back to this week's episode of the Dance Studio Empire podcast. Now, before we start, I've got two questions for you today. The first one is, how is it that we are in July already? And the second one is, how are those goals that you set back in January tracking? So let's go back to the fact that it's July. I am sure you sit in conversations with family and friends and just talk about how fast the year goes. And it doesn't matter how old you are, it seems to keep getting faster and faster. And it continually blows my mind, to be honest. However, I do try to look at July now as a good time to reset, because we still do have a good couple of months until we finish up for Christmas. So in this episode, I am going to talk to you about 5 ways that we can reset and refocus for 2024. So let's rewind a little bit. Remember back in January when we all set those ambitious goals for the year, and we were so motivated and determined, mapping out everything that we wanted to achieve. It's always an exciting time and that full of promise and the potential. But as the months roll on, life just happens, and we get caught up in the day-to-day hustle, the dealing with those endless to-do lists, managing the classes, dealing with the parents, and everything else that comes along with running a dance studio. And then before you know it, we're halfway through the year, hence where we are right now. And those goals that we were so passionate about have taken a back seat. But here's the good news, it's never too late for a reset. Being halfway through 2024, there is still plenty of time to reset these goals. Sometimes all you need to do is a bit of a refocus. And a question that I get asked a lot is, how do you actually do that? How do we reset and get back on track? So in this episode, I thought I will talk you through exactly how you can do this. And no surprises, I've broken it into 5 practical steps. So if you want to take notes, now is the time to get your device or your pen. Otherwise, if you're driving, please don't. Keep your hands on the steering wheel and maybe listen to it when you are in your office. All right, so the first thing that we do is revisit the goals that you did set. So what was it that you set out to achieve for the year? And I'll take some time to reflect on your January intentions, whether that's a list that you do, whether maybe you create a vision board, or however you track your goals. A really good idea is just to get them out and have a look at them with fresh eyes. Are those goals still relevant to you now? Have your priorities shifted? For example, if one of your goals was to increase studio enrollment by 20%, check where you stand with that now. If you're halfway there, great. If not, identify what might have held you back. It's crucial to assess and possibly readjust your goals to align with your current circumstances. Okay, so that's the first one. Number 2 is to identify your non-negotiables. These are the foundational elements that are crucial for your studio's success. What are the core values and practices that you won't compromise on? For instance, you might decide that maintaining a high standard of teaching and creating a positive, supportive environment for your studio and your students are your top priorities. So write these down, write your non-negotiables, and make sure they guide every decision that you make. So for example, if you attempted to cut corners to save costs, remember your non-negotiables and find a different solution that doesn't compromise your standards. Okay, number 3. Let's tackle your biggest challenges. Okay, so everyone, all of us face obstacles. Of course, not only in the business, but in life as well. But the key is to identify what's holding you back. Is it a lack of resources? Is it staffing issues? Maybe it's marketing or retaining students. For example, if you're struggling with student retention, look at your class offerings and maybe you could consider adding something new and exciting or improving the customer engagement. Seek feedback from your students and your parents to understand what their needs are and how you can possibly deliver on that better. By pinpointing your biggest challenges, you can then start to develop targeted strategies to then overcome them. See? Okay, so that's number 3. Number 4 is to anticipate obstacles. So the 4th point, life is just full of surprises and running a dance studio is no different. What distractions or hurdles might you face in the coming months? Now, maybe it's a busy season coming up for you, or you're experiencing a period of staff transitions. Plan for these scenarios. For example, if you're anticipating a busy concert season, which many of us are heading towards in the Southern Hemisphere, start organising and delegating tasks now to ensure that everything runs smoothly. Being proactive and prepared will then help you navigate these challenges with confidence. And step number 5 are your focus areas. So finally, you want to break down your strategies as you are looking at your goals and ways to achieve them and break them into manageable parts. Because it is easy to feel overwhelmed when you look at that big picture. I hear you, I see it every day, and especially in the conversations that I have with studio owners. But the idea is not to keep an eye on the big picture, although you do have to keep your eye on the big picture. However, to achieve it, you want to be breaking it down into smaller, actionable steps, because that then makes it more manageable for you. So identify those areas that you want to focus on. Now, whether it's your marketing, whether it's student retention, staff training, or expanding your class offerings, create a detailed plan with specific achievable goals for each of those areas. So for example, if it's the marketing you want to focus on, set a goal. So for example, post on social media 3 times a week and run a targeted ad campaign. Then how do you break that down more? So it might be set up a whole lot of templates in Canva, and that's your design. And then it might be you might need to do a scheduling tool to make sure that they get scheduled. So this approach is then going to help you stay organized and keep your studio on track for success. So there you have it. These are your 5 simple ways to reset and refocus for 2024. So let me do a quick recap. First one is to revisit your goals. So what did you set out to achieve at the beginning of this year? The second one is to identify your non-negotiables. What's essential for your studio success? But I also think it's important to look at what's important for your life outside of the studio as well. You need to identify non-negotiables for that as well. Number 3 is to tackle your biggest challenges. So what is it that's holding you back? Number 4 was to anticipate obstacles. So what distractions or hurdles might you face that will stop you or slow you down? And then finally, number 5 are your focus areas. So break down your strategy into manageable parts. How does that feel? Does that feel good? Because speaking of resetting and refocusing, I need to tell you that the Business of Dance conference is back again. And this year, the conference is happening on Saturday, August 31st in Sydney. Now, maybe you were there last year, maybe this is the first year you'll be coming. It is certainly an experience not to miss. The feedback that we got was incredible, and even still to this day, I hear from studio owners saying the information that they got, they have implemented and seen incredible results. And so, I mean, it was a no-brainer to run it again, but it is honestly, it's the perfect chance to gain some clarity, reset your goals, and connect with fellow studio owners who share the same passion that you do. And the way I run this business conference is different from anything else that you've been to before. And in the coming weeks, I will go into more detail about that. Basically, we'll be diving into the strategies and much more about what we spoke about, but we have guest speakers come in, and these are experts who give you insights and practical advice. And they're both within the industry and outside the industry, because I think it's so important that we get a view and a take and opinions from people outside of our industry. Otherwise, it gets too insular. Anyway, as I mentioned, I will tell you more about this in the weeks coming, but I did want to let you know that tickets are going on sale, and I'm letting people know. So in my community, people who are on my list are getting the information now. And so if you don't want to miss out, I really highly suggest that you jump on and grab a ticket, because numbers are strictly limited. Like, we are limited to the size of the venue. And so tickets will sell out. So it's a good time. There is also early bird pricing that's available at the moment. And so I will leave the link at the bottom of these show notes, and you can click in there. Otherwise, send me a DM through Instagram, which is _JenDalton_, and I will send you the link to more information and how you can get your tickets. All right, dance studio owners, I'm going to leave it there today. I hope you do find a bit of time to reset and refocus for 2024, because it's only going to keep getting better.